Yeah, so my topic this morning is from load shedding to opportunity. We are talking about using distributed solar storage system in South African and SMEs. So when we are talking about load shedding, we are talking about electricity failure. That's just it. Like, for example, now there's electricity, maybe it just switch off, and then people waited for several hours before the electricity is restored. So that's what we mean by load shedding. So now this study is all about what are the other alternatives that can be explored by the South African SMEs. So yeah, okay. So in 2023, South Africa experienced more than 6,950 hours of load shedding, which is very unprecedented, and it affected businesses nationwide. Yeah, 2024, there was improvement, so it's reduced significantly to around 1,650, while in 2025 now, it's extremely, we are battling with it right now. So that's the motivation for this study. And then if individuals are battling with it, what about the SMEs? So we're talking about SME now. SMEs in South Africa contribute more than 60% of employment, so which translates to more than 34% of GDP. And then, due to this power failure, they face severe productivity and revenue losses from these persistent electricity shortfalls. Yeah. So the load shedding issue is multifaceted. It's rooted in both infrastructure deficiencies as evidenced in gap mitigation strategy. This includes the limited focus on energy reliability assessment. So many techno-economic analysis for SMEs overlook site-specific outage frequency and duration, expected unserved energy, loss of load probability, or sector adjustment VOLL. So all these measures are critical for designing PV battery systems. So now we are talking about what are the solutions to this thing. So now our study is suggesting the PV battery systems in South Africa that should be made available for the SMEs. So now we see that the critical issue is insufficient attention to tariff and connection reality. Apart from the electricity, there are a lot of people are not even able to pay the electricity bill. We call it energy poverty. So, which is really affecting here. So, for example, now we are talking about tariff elements such as demand charges, ratchet, time use, or critical peak pricing, export limit, and non-bypassable fees, which can diminish projected savings by more than 20 to 30%. So now there is also problem with financing and the adoption of solar PV plants. Yes, because for example now, while East African country like Kenya, yes, Kenya have there is some financial support that the Kenya government have in place, which is addressing these mini grid issues. So now, whereas South African SMEs financial structure is different. So it's evident in borrowing rate terms, risk protection, which is different from the East African counterpart. So now also there is underexploited supply and capacity challenge. Okay, so based on these problems we've highlighted, but based on these problems, so this our topic, our study is asking three critical research questions. Yes, the first one assesses the magnitude and the heterogeneity of of SMEs impact from outages. Outages is the same as load shedding, okay? So the second one is the distributed solution and financing instruments that are most prevalent for businesses in South Africa. So now the third one, we are asking what supply chain and policy friction constrain the diffusion. So that means the widespread adoption of distributed energy resources in South Africa. Yes, based on this this study is actually it's not an empirical paper. It's like conceptual paper. So we didn't carry out research yet because this is a project which we are working on currently. So that's why we are making. So based on this paper, we are writing empirical. We are conducting research for this year we are entering. So now the theoretical framework that is supporting these studies. The first one is the reliability economic theory. The reliability economic theory assesses, okay, okay. The reliability economic studies, yeah, assesses the value of lost load. We call it VOLL. Yeah, the economic cost of an underserved kilowatt hour and expected unserved energy. Here you he means expected unserved energy. So also loss of load probability, LOLP. So sorry, there are lots of acronyms here. So this quantify the risks associated with supply shortfall of electricity. So apart from these reliability economic theories, we are also using diffusion framework. Diffusion framework is rooted in technology adoption pattern, which is influenced by perceived benefit, complexity, and institutional support for all these photovoltaic systems, just like such as solar battery systems. So the fourth, yeah, I mean, another theory is the production theory, and the fourth one is the transaction cost theory, which support this study. So, like I said, the methodology is literature review. And database where we got the past studies include Scopus, Web of Science. We also use some help that assisted us to assess these papers, such as Undermined. Covidence was used to combine these papers together. Yeah. So now, based on these papers, so we're able to read and study so as to answer the research questions. The first research question, once again, is what is the magnitude and heterogeneity of SMEs impacts from outages? Yeah. Okay, so based on this thing, so global, apart from South Africa, other evidences exist in countries like Kenya, like Nigeria, Ghana, which revealed that outages impose more than 15 to 30% revenue losses for affected SMEs. So now, people that are installing mini grids such as PV, like solar, I mean mini grid like solar, yeah. So solar, yeah. This study shows that the income gain, the post-connection income gain of 20 to 50% has been assessed by the SMEs. So it reveals high implied cost of reliability. So now in South Africa specifically, we have the effect. Yeah, the effect is on the cold chain storage. It causes high spoilage risk and perishable losses for businesses. Yeah, that's for, I mean, the load shedding. So for the manufacturing industry, equipment restart penalty and productions delays. For hospitality and ICT systems, customer churn during evening outages, especially, yeah. So also for daytime operations, it lowers the vulnerability with solar alignment potentials. So all this, there are a lot of issues that are actually related to load shedding in South Africa, because yeah, there are a lot because because of time, I can't be reading here. Because of time, I have to be very fast. So now this research question two, which distributed solution and financing instruments are most prevalent in South Africa? So yeah, this one I'm going to read it in
So you
depth a
have 2 minutes
bit.
left.
Okay, I have
Yeah.
2 minutes. Okay, we have the PV only system, we have the PV battery, we have the PV diesel systems. Yeah, so all this, yeah, like yeah, we are talking about installation of mini grids also, which is very good. Yeah. Okay. This that research question is what supply chain and policy friction constrain the diffusion. So the first one is regulatory and policy friction. The second one is financial constraint as highlighted in the problem statement. And the third one is technical and capacity gaps. And the fourth one is market and information barriers. A lot of barriers actually. So now our question is what is the way forward? Yeah. So now that's actually our work. That is what we are working on now in our research. So the first one is the measure and maps. SME should log outages and map specific goal for targeted system sizing and investment in prioritization. So standardized finance, phase implementation of PV like mini grids, and then enable policy like the policy of the government should also support the people, yeah, or support the people, because people, yeah, SMEs are made of up of more of individuals, yes. So and many of them are being affected. So now, so how can we transform this crisis into competitive advantage? Number one, the key takeaways are outages impose economically significant costs, which is more than about 25% of revenue in affected sector. So now we are talking about installation of PV batteries hybrid. This offer optimum balance because there's sunlight, there's enough sunlight. But what about the money for investing in these things? So apart from that, we're talking about the regulatory streamlining, yeah, where the regulations will support these systems, and then the properly sized finance, distributed storage, and distributed solar and storage convert systemic fragility into enduring competitiveness. So now this research, finally, this research contributes to the UN Sustainable Development Goal 7, which ensures affordable, reliable, and clean energy access while supporting economic growth. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Just
Yes.
12 minutes, well done. Very nicely done. I'm sure that we have 3 minutes and the door is open for everyone to ask questions. The audience, please, if you have any question to her, you can do so now. You can raise your hand, or you can just ask or type your question via the chat box. Anyone has anything to ask?
Okay, Prof.
Let's see. No responses coming so far. Prof. Ogedengbe, you know that you have done it. The paper is really the conceptual. Now, you know
Yes.
what I have gathered from you, that you have done first systematic literature review and then the various construct within the conceptual framework grounded in the literature review. Am I right?
Yes.
Just wanted to see you, you know, that whether you have used the specific, the methodological, you know, that the model to do the systematic literature review. How did you do it?
Okay, so this is thematic review. It follows the normal systematic, like okay, like defining the search string, and then searching on the the databases such as the Scopus Web of Science database. Also, we also use in order to include all articles that are relevant. So we use AI support, so yeah, like Undermined. Undermined is very, very good. So we use Undermined also. And all these things, we were able to collate and also to delete all these duplicates. We use Covidence. Covidence is also an AI that is good. It's like a site. Covidence. It's all this. Covidence is also subscribed by the University of Johannesburg. So this Covidence you can use to collate all this, and then it will delete extra. It will help you in refining the literature search that you've already searched. So now, then you're going to download these things. So the relevant ones will now be assessed by you manually. So yes, we follow the normal method, and it was all detailed
Thank you.
in the
I
paper
think
that
that's
was submitted
satisfying.
to you.
That's
Yes.
satisfying. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'm
Prof.
sure that